30 years ago, when I just graduated from universities, I heard America had a wonderful strategy. They outsource the manufacturing job, service jobs. They outsource the manufacturer to Mexico and China, outsource the service job to India. There's a book called The World is Flat.
Tom Friedman, colleague at the New York Times.
And I think it's a perfect strategy. You know, that the Americans said, we just want to control the IP, we just want to technology, we just want the brand, and leave the lower end jobs for the world. Great strategy. And second is that the American international companies made millions and millions of dollars from globalization. The top 100 companies in America. Amazing. I remember when I graduated from university, I tried to buy a beeper, the Motorola beeper. Cost me $250. My pay at that time is $10 a month as a teacher. And the cost of making that beeper is only $8 for a chip. Right. So, past 30 years, IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, they made tons of money. The profit they made are much more than the 4 largest banks in China put together. The mobile phone China, Unicom, and whatever you name it, put together. Still, these multinational companies made more money than. So their market cap grew more than 100 times in the past 30 years. But where'd the money go? This is what I'm curious, because as a business people, I always care about the balance sheet. Where the money coming, where the money go. Past 30 years, the American had 13 wars, spending $14.2 trillion. The money going there. What if they spend a part of that money on building up the infrastructure, helping the white collars and blue collars? No matter how strategy good it is, you're supposed to spend money on your own people, right? Not everybody can pass Harvard. Like me, they're not good at education, right? We should spend money on those people who are not good at schooling. And the other money, which I'm curious about, is that when I was young, I heard America is about Ford and Boeing, those big manufacturing companies. Last 10, 20 years, I heard about is Silicon Valley and Wall Street. The money go to the Wall Street. And what happened? Year 2008. The financial crisis wiped out $19.2 trillion USA alone. They wiped out all the white collars and destroyed 34 million jobs globally. So what if the money is not Wall Street? What if the money spent on the Middle East, Middle West of the United States, developing the industry there? That could be changed a lot. So it's not the other countries steal jobs from you guys. It is your strategy. Okay, but you do not distribute the money and things in a proper way. This is what
Jack Ma, one of China's billionaires, the owner and founder of Alibaba, Alibaba.com, that place where you find Chinese suppliers. He basically disappeared for years and he was resurrected, and all of a sudden he came out refuting and rejecting the notion by Donald Trump and his mafias that China has stolen American jobs. And of course, being a businessman, a billionaire for that matter, he threw some numbers out there that it's not only Chinese or China who have benefited from globalization, but American firms also benefited enormously from globalization. But the only big difference between America and China is obviously the governance system. Okay, the government of China controls where most of the money in the country end up going. And unfortunately, in the United States of America, all the profits and all the money that those big firms made ended up in private individual owners. It ended up making a few richer and the rest of the country and the rest of the citizens poor. Okay, so the oligarchs, the billionaires, become more and more and more wealthy as the rest of the country is suffering. So that's the difference. So that's why he threw it out there and said it's just the difference in priority where you invest. Whereas China invested in its own people and built infrastructures and developed the country. In the case of America, thanks to capitalism, all that money ended up in the hands of a few. He also mentioned trillions and trillions of dollars that has been spent by the United States of America fighting endless wars which sometimes they had no business to be involved in, and sometimes the citizens, the people, the taxpayers do not benefit anything from. And of course, it's because of that big scary monster that we always heard of, that Eisenhower spoke about in 1961, the military industrial complex. Yes, the defense contractors, all that money, all those trillions and trillions of dollars ended up in the hands of those private contractors, those private uh, defense contractors, right? Those are the ones who end up siphoning that money. So it's literally a daylight robbery, right? The states collect taxes from its people, goes into war, and sometimes wars that the United States of America doesn't benefit anything from, and they go and buy weapons. All those weapons that are being given to Ukraine, that are being given to Israel, they are not for free. At the end of the day, the states, the United States of America, is buying those weapons from the defense contractors. Who benefits from this? It's the defense contractors, right? Those are the ones who are making the millions. That's exactly what Eisenhower warned about, that those people will end up pushing and lobbying politicians to stay involved in endless wars so that the money can keep rolling in. Because for the money to keep rolling in, we need to sell more weapons. More weapons must go out. It's either our allies are involved in a conflict, then we keep giving them weapons, or we ourselves, we have to intervene, we have to be involved. It's for the world peace, but it's actually not genuine. It's because of those big defense contractors who are siphoning the money, stealing from the average Americans.
We're coming up with a new system of drones, because drones are really, if you look at the war that's going on, it's horrible, but we are watching it very closely, and drones really seem to be taking over that war. And so I hope you're going to come up with some nice inexpensive engine for a drone so that we don't have to spend so much. I asked one of the companies, I said, I want a lot of drones. And, you know, in the case of Iran, they make a good drone. And they make them for $35,000, $40,000. So I said to this company, I want to see it. They came in 2 weeks later with a drone that cost $41 million. I said, that's not what I'm talking about, $41 million. I'm talking about something for $35,000, $40,000 where you send thousands of them up. And that's a great way. And they're very good, too, and fast.
Donald Trump himself, he literally slid and made a mistake. He was praising Iran for the drones that they make, very effective, and some of them very cheap, like he said. And Donald Trump went on to his own people and like, yo, can I also have a drone like this? Can we also make stuff like this? And they came up with what? A drone which cost $41 million. A drone that costs $41 million. And the question becomes, is it better? I don't think so. It's because these people, they have their grip and the control on the state. So the state have no option. They will pay whatever the fuck those people say, because they will simply tell you, if you want to stay on top of this game, if you want us to research and develop and bring new technology into the military, you gotta pay whatever you gotta pay. That is the difference. That is the difference between communist China and the United States of America. That is the difference between Iran and the United States of America. That is the difference between Russia and the United States of America. The way things are done in Russia, the way things are done in the communist China, or the way things are done in Iran is different. But because thanks to capitalism and democracy, that's what you end up having.